Good morning, and thank you for joining me for day 9 of our Advent devotions taken from Almost Christmas, a Wesleyan Advent experience. We are grateful for the words that are coming to us through this devotional series. And today, the words are being shared by Reverend Robin C. Wilson. So we give her thanks for sharing these words. She is relating her devotion to the question on day 9 of the Advent series, devotional series we're looking at. Am I, at the very least, observing the qualities of an almost Christian? So let's get with it, shall we? Dear God, forgive me for not studying until tonight. I know it's midnight and my exam is at 8 a.m. I also realize that I have absolutely no good excuse for not opening my book until now. But at least I'm studying now, so help me remember all these equations tomorrow. Amen. Robin tells us whether your prayer is about work or school or another part of life, many of us have prayed this type of prayer before. I'm guilty, are you? I call it the 79.5 prayer, she says. She said it's the prayer that one prays when one just wants to scrape by with the lowest possible performance that still achieves a B grade. After all, the textbook was bought, some studying, albeit last minute, was accomplished, and a little effort was made. Therefore, God, or the teacher, should pour out an abundance of grace and just give us the B. Give us the lowest grade that gets us some respectability. A 79.5% is rounded up to an 80, which gets us our B. Minimum effort exerted, maximum grace expected. Robin continues. And since we know that our God is a God of abundant grace, some of us Christians have actually adopted, this mindset as we journey together in faith. We try to figure out the least we have to do to be considered a Christian. We wonder if we have to participate in corporate worship when the weather is bad outside, or will God understand if we skip this Sunday because we attended last Sunday? Should I give sacrificially to help those who are in need, or can I just give a little so that I still have enough for my own desires? Must I share my gift of teaching with the children in my church every Sunday, or can I just help with Vacation Bible School for 1 week instead? Maybe, she says, we make up for it by cramming during Advent and Christmas and giving a bit extra, serving a bit more, attending worship more consistently, and even one extra time on Christmas Eve. A lot of Christians, Robin reminds us, are content with a 79.5 kind of discipleship. This 79.5 discipleship is content with following the letter of God's law without the joy of the fullness of God's Spirit. This 79.5 discipleship has forgotten the joy of the relationship with God and God's people. This 79.5 discipleship rationalizes behavior with phrases like these that follow. Well, at least I don't sin like those others never lift a finger. I do more than I remember when I used to help with. Those news people have more energy. I'll let them sign up for. I know they say there is a need, but I already gave to the need with the, remember that time that Why do we Christians strive for a 79.5 in our Christian walks? She asks us. Why is Christmas often used as a time to cram instead of celebrate Christ's coming, and especially Christ's coming with the fullness of joy and longing? Perhaps we just tire of worshiping and glorifying God, forgetting that God is deserving of our very best. Maybe we have become detached from God in our spiritual lives, allowing other habits to pull us from prayer and study and service and other means of God's grace. Whatever the reason or our condition, it behooves all of us, as flawed, fallen Christians, to examine our hearts for the contagious symptoms of complacency and contentment. Wesley's question reminds us that the outward, almost Christian life is necessary but not sufficient. If we strive for 79.5 discipleship, we won't even get that far. Instead, we can strive for a wholehearted faith and love of God with joy that we get to be a part of God's kingdom-building work. After all, we all believe the words Jesus tells his followers in John 10:10. I came so that they could have life, indeed so that they could have life to the fullest. That fullness of life is a gift of grace to us now. Robin continues, reminding us that it demands that we give all of ourselves in joyful surrender to our God. And she prays that we may see God not as a 79.5% burden, but as a 100% joy. These are good words to ponder on a 9th day of our Advent journey. Blessings.